everybody. This is Glenda with Fralins and Friends Crafts Plus. And tonight we're starting the very last panel of Joseph in Egypt and how he brought the Israelites to Egypt. So, I'll be back in a moment. I hope you're all doing good. This is the last panel that started with Jacob giving Joseph the coat of many colors because he favored Joseph, and he showed that by giving him a beautiful coat of many colors. And the brothers got jealous, as brothers generally do, but they sold him into slavery. It's not a good thing to do. So they sold him into slavery, and he was imprisoned in Egypt, or he was worked as a slave in Egypt for a while. And then the Pharaoh needed someone who could interpret his dreams because he was bothered by them, and none of his priests or sorcerers or any of them could do it. And now we are at the point where Joseph he's had rule over the land of Egypt because he could interpret the Pharaoh's dreams. The Pharaoh gave him rule, and he has brought them through famine, persuaded them all to save up and make storage of a lot of their corn and things that they would need, because there were going to be 7 years of famine following the 7 years of plenty. So Joseph has been in charge of this. Last time his brothers came and asked for grain a couple times, and each time they found their money back in their sacks. And Joseph, they didn't know it was Joseph they were talking to. So Joseph asked them to bring he asked if they had a brother, he asked if they had a father and all that. Anyway, they said they had a younger brother, and he said, well, bring him to me. And Jacob wouldn't let them, and they finally talked him into it. And then they brought Jacob came. And by this time, Joseph has revealed himself as their brother, and he's now had a chance to greet his father, because his father is there. His brother Ben, they've hugged each other and cried. He's hugged his father and cried. And his brothers have been so happy that they did not get in trouble for selling their brother. And all of their families have now come to Egypt. The Pharaoh said they could all come to Egypt. But this is where we start tonight. Now we have all of Jacob's brothers, their families, their wives, children, all of Jacob's wives, and they're all getting pretty old by now, but they're with him, except for Rachel. She died giving birth to Ben. The Pharaoh asked Jacob, who is well over 100. He asked Jacob what they raise, what they do for a living. And he said that they're shepherds. So I think it might have been kind of not quite as friendly as he made it out to be. But the Pharaoh told Jacob that he was going to give him and all his people the best lands. He was going to give them the land of Goshen. Not give it to them, he was going to let them live there. And the land of Goshen was up on the delta. That's what I'm painting in now. I'm painting in the delta. There it is, all done. The camera cut out for a while, and I kept painting, didn't realize it. And so here it is. Now what I'm planning on doing with this, I just want this to show up that where I can show this is the land of Goshen, but I will have much larger figures on there of Joseph and Pharaoh and Jacob. But there's a lot of nice grass up there on that delta because the Nile flows north. And when it goes north, I keep trying to get those little parts of that delta in there right. But it's flowing north into the Mediterranean. So this is all where you see me painting and stuff. All the water you see in there, that's just river water. There is no salt in that. So, and you can see there is green there. That part of Egypt is green because of all of the water there, which gives it that ability to grow grass or grain or whatever. Sheep need grass. And so the other reason or the main reason that he did not give them any other part or let them live in any other part, at least at that point, is because they're cattle people. The Egyptians raise cattle. They raise corn, a lot of corn, but they raise a lot of cattle. And cattle and sheep don't mix, not in their mind, because they don't want the sheep around their cow. Does that remind you of some old westerns? Yeah, me too. So here we are, and he is settling them in the land of Goshen, which is part of Egypt. Okay, so that is where I've been, and in a minute here I'm going to be showing you where the Red Sea is. Now, Egypt is it runs along the Nile, mostly on the west side. Right there, where I'm now putting in the Red Sea. And I don't know how things were divided up then as far as, where and I don't know all the dimensions. Maps are notoriously wrong when it comes to how accurate they are. This is for placement. But this is going to be the backdrop for our final. The Red Sea is there because that's where the Exodus takes place much farther down the road. But the Pharaoh has put them in the land of Goshen where there's grass and water. And so I don't know, I suppose it's probably a little swampish, so that's probably why they don't put their cattle up there. But living along the Nile, I'm sure they're able to, find water for their cattle. So I'm getting to the point where I wish I hadn't lost that bit of time there when I was painting that other, but it doesn't really affect this story. The whole nation of Israel, as it is right now, is in Egypt, and they have a place which is called Goshen. They are separated from most of the Egyptians because they don't really want to mix with the Hebrew. They're calling them the Hebrew at that time. They don't really want to mix with them. The Egyptians were pretty elitist at that time because they were probably the most advanced and most organized nation at the time. They weren't a city-state. They were combining. There's Upper and Lower Egypt. I don't know where they were at that point. But this is where I'm going to be leaving off tonight, because tomorrow I'm going to add the figures of the Pharaoh, Joseph, and Jacob. So, and this, I'm probably going to put a light white wash on tomorrow before we start, because, well, or maybe in between then, now and then, so that I can fade that out a little bit, because it's kind of strong right now, but I want to fade it out to where it kind of takes the background. So I kind of want to do like a white wash over it, just lightly. And it may or may not work, but one way or the other, we will put the three men on there, and that will be when the Pharaoh is telling them where they will live. Please comment, subscribe, click the notification bell, and give me a thumbs up. And please do comment. And we'll see you tomorrow. I love you. Smile and wave at somebody. That is important. Smiling is friendly. Waving is acknowledging. Good night.